Hello, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Please ensure to like, share, and subscribe. And also click the bell notification in the top right-hand corner to be made aware anytime I upload tutorials or videos to YouTube. All right, let's craft together. Hey guys, today I'm going to be sublimating on a 20-ounce skinny tumbler, and I will put in the description where I ordered these from because I don't remember offhand. At least I'm honest. I've already designed out the image that I want to do, and I designed this out in Microsoft PowerPoint using images that I got off of Pixabay. So these are three separate, or actually four separate images. This frame of the hearts was one image. These flowers was another image, and then each one of these was an image, and I got them all off of Pixabay.com, www.pixabay.com for free. And then I just typed in the word love story, okay? Whenever you're doing sublimation, you want to make sure you're using sublimation blanks. So this is not a tumbler that I got from like Walmart or any store that I just walked in and picked it up. I had to order this offline. And again, I'll put the name of the place in the description. And I am using a sub paper, 8.5 by 11. So you guys can see how it printed out. And I am using ink from Hippoo, Hippoo. So hopefully I'm saying it right. It's either Hippoo or Hippo. I don't know. But the ink printed out perfectly. There's no lines or anything. And the ink is working out really, really well. So I really like it. This image that I designed in Microsoft PowerPoint, I made it a size of 9.08 in height and 9.77 in width. So I will have a little bit of overlap, which is what I want. So I'm just going to cut off the white around the edges. I do like to kind of leave the white around the top, so I'm not going to cut that, I don't think. I'm just going to kind of gauge what I want to do as I kind of go here. And I am going to have it kind of drape over the bottom of the tumbler because that's what I like. If you're not familiar with sublimation, sublimation will always look kind of dull on the paper, and then the colors become vibrant and to life. They come to life once you put them, apply heat to them. So I'm going to be using my Hamilton Beach convection oven, which is the large, extra large size convection oven. And I have some heat tape here that I'm going to be using. And what you want to do, guys, is you want to make sure that you, number one, mirror your image. So in Microsoft PowerPoint, I go in and I rotate the image so that I can get it to the proper sizing that I need. And, oh, this is going to be perfect. So I didn't need all that extra white space because it's going to put like a little bit of a little white line there, and that's perfectly fine. But when you're wrapping, hold on 1 second. Okay. When you're wrapping your tumbler, you want to make sure that you are wrapping it tightly. So what I like to do is first, I kind of hold it up and make sure that I'm gauging it right as far as at the top of the tumbler. And then I'm making sure as I'm pulling the paper around that I am applying pressure by pulling it tightly. So you want to make sure that there are that your tumbler, between your tumbler and your paper, that there is no space. No space between the two. You want them to, this is going to be a love tumbler. You want to make sure that this paper and this tumbler falls in love with each other. Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm just making sure that it fits properly around here. So I am going to kind of get the fit from the top going here good. And I'm going to pull. Okay. All right. So I am making sure that it is nice and tight and that it's lined up good at that top. I don't really, the bottom doesn't bother me as much because on the bottom, I'm going to wrap it. So you see how I have this hanging over? I like to fold that in half so that, or fold that under so that I get a little bit of the design on the bottom of the tumbler. So the hearts on the bottom will kind of come down. And I like that look. I am going to be using again the heat tape, and then I'm also going to be using I'm also going to be using shrink wrap. So I'm going to put this on, and then I'm going to use the shrink wrap to seal it, but I want to get the tape on nice and tight first. All right, so I'm just going to let it go here until I can get some, whoops, didn't want it to go that far. Going until I can get some pieces of tape going here. That's what I should have been ordering today from Amazon, was a tape dispenser, a holder for me. So I can make this process easier by just snapping off a couple of pieces of tape instead of having to do it this way. But it is what it is, right? All right. I have a couple of pieces of heat tape there. My tumbler filled. All right, here we go. So I'm going to take my image, make sure I line it up on that top really nicely. I'll wrap it around and make sure I get that top lined up perfectly. And then I'll start wrapping or pulling tightly. So you want to pull tightly, guys. Tightly, tightly, tightly. All right. Pulling so tight, I'm almost about to break my nails, y'all. I'm not trying to break my nails. When you're doing sublimation tumblers, guys, the most time consuming part is this part right here. Getting your paper lined up properly so you can use that heat tape to seal it all down. And make sure that you have really, really a strong grip. You do not want to have any space getting in between your paper and your tumbler. All right. So I can see there's a little bit of space there. I'm going to try this again. Sometimes when I do my tumblers, it's easy breezy, beautiful cover girl. And then other times it's a nightmare. A nightmare and making sure that you get it taped really good. So I'm going to start here from this middle because it's acting crazy from the top. So I'm just going to come down a little bit and there we go. All right, now we're cooking with gas. So again, sublimation, when you're doing sublimation, you want to make sure, or a tumbler on sublimation, you want to make sure that you get this thing as tight as possible, because if you don't, what's going to happen is you're going to get what we call ghosting, which is like white splotch spots on your image, and you do not want that. So we're going to get this taped down really nicely and really tightly. All right, so now we're cooking with gas, and as I feel around it, I don't feel like any space in between the paper and the tumbler. You want it as tight as possible, so when you look, you don't see any gaps in there. So I'm going to go ahead and finish taping this up, and then I will start applying do the bottom and the top, and then the shrink wrap. All right, the good thing about this, guys, is that when you finish this process right here, everything else is going to be a piece of cake. It's the taping part that you have to get right. Everything else is easy. I cannot get this thing to stay on this table to save my life. Okay. And we're going to put our next piece of tape, and again, tightly. All right. So I got that part. Now when I do my bottom part, again, you see the overlap. And what I do is I just fold it under, and then I'm going to tape it down really, really good so that I don't have any pockets where air can get under there. And I just kind of take it and push it down on the table to where I can get it to where it's laying flat and not having any pockets sitting up. So I'm going to take and get a couple of pieces of tape. And I told you guys, this is the most time-consuming part. Everything else is easy, as you'll see here in a minute. But I just got to get it taped up really good. So I'll give myself a couple of pieces of tape here. Alrighty. Now the top, I just use one entire piece of tape to go around that top. The bottom is going to take a couple of pieces here, and I just kind of go widthwise around and pull. Okay. And I'll show it to you here in just a moment. Let me kind of get it like I need it. So you're going to need about 2 or 3 more pieces of little tape around this end here. Okay, and I'm making sure that it's around here really, really nice and flat. And then I'm going to add about 2 more pieces of tape there. You can see what that's looking like so far. All right, I get about 2 more pieces of tape here. And this heat tape, guys, I got from Amazon as well. If you guys have watched any of my sublimation videos before, you'll know that most of my supplies, where my supplies come from. I always put the links in the description to help you guys for those that may want to use the supplies that I'm using. And I'm going to make sure that's nice and flat. So that's what we have. Okay, so you want to make sure there's no space, no air can get up in there. And it's nice and tight. All right, and we're going to put 1 continuous strand around the top, and then we're going to go ahead and apply our shrink wrap. Now the shrink wrap I just got in today, so this will be the first time that I'm using shrink wrap. I ordered this from Etsy, from a lady on or shop on Etsy. I say a lady, could be a man, I don't know. But I ordered from shop on Etsy, and it was they were pretty fast. I think what took so long was just it getting here in the mail, but I ordered it that day and they shipped the same day. I got confirmation that it was shipped. So that was awesome. And I also ordered some sublimation earring blanks from them. So the next video I'm going to be doing is a sublimation earring. All right, so on that top, I just put 1 continuous strand of tape around the top and just make sure that it's on there nice and firm, and that again I cannot feel, like if I were to be able to feel any type of little paper bubbled up, then I would have to kind of start from scratch to get all that straightened out. But right now I think I'm in a good spot with everything. So I'm going to have a little bit of a white line here, but that's fine because it's going to have hearts, so it'll kind of look kind of natural. But a lot of our space on here is white, so it's going to be perfect. I'm going to get my shrink wrap. This is the shrink wrap. And you just open it up. Like that. And push it down in there. And when you're using shrink wrap, you're going to have to need a heat gun or some type of something to blow heat onto it to get it to conform to your tumbler. And so I am going to grab my heat gun and we'll get started with the shrink wrap. I'm going to pause this for just a second. All right, guys, I have my heat gun and I have my shrink wrap on. Now, when you're using the heat gun, you want to make sure you don't get too close to the shrink wrap. Otherwise, you'll burn a hole in the shrink wrap, and you don't want to do that. And you want to make sure that you leave a little bit of the shrink wrap at the bottom and the top. That way, as it shrinks, it'll cover the bottom and it'll make a nice lid for the top. Okay. This is the first time I'm using shrink wrap, so I'm going to do my best to do what I just told you. Don't burn it. All right. I have on heat gloves. I have on heat gloves to protect myself. So we're going to go ahead and get started here. Oops. You always want to start with the body. I'm not doing good, guys. Okay. Shrink wrap mission, not so good. Okay, maybe I need to turn it up and try that. Okay, I think that's probably as good as I'm gonna get it here. And what I'm gonna do is I am going to be placing this in. I think I got it a little bit. It feels good. We're gonna see what happens. It's my first time, so we'll see what happens. But I'm gonna put this in my convection oven, 400 for 6 minutes, 400 degrees, 6 minutes. I do use a heat thermometer so that I can gauge the actual temperature. And so I'm gonna pause you and I'll be right back to do the reveal with you to see what we get and to see if it turned out. Now, one of the things is when you do take it off, if you can see your image on the back of the paper, the sublimation paper, then you know that you got a good you got good sublimation going. So I'm going to pause you and I'll be right back to do the unveiling with you. So you guys can see, and it looks pretty good. All right, wish me luck. I'll be right back. All right, guys, I'm done. One of the things I was telling you about is you should be able to see your image through the shrink wrap. So it looks like we might have some really nice results here, but let's see. Again, guys, I normally say this a lot when I'm doing sublimation because these things are super hot. When you take them out, they're super hot when you take them out of the convection oven. So please, please, please make sure you protect yourself. You have on some type of heat gloves or something. And be careful when you're taking out the shrink wrap and you're using any type of metal or whatever because you don't want to, ruin the poly covering that's on your tumbler. Scratch that. I was looking for my little weeding tool. So let's see if I can start it. Hold on 1 second. All right. Let's see if we can get this baby started. Okay. I'm probably really going to need my weeding things here because we don't want to make this an all-night thing, right? And I need to be able to get a little bit of a grip on here. All right, almost there. Let me use these, see if it'll help me out here. There we go. It was just that one little piece of tape that's holding on like it is for dear life. Oh, it's so pretty. It is so pretty, y'all. Oh, it's so pretty. Oh, look at that. Hold on. Oh, it's so pretty. All right. So let me get this stuff out of my way so I can show you here. So here we go. So it says love story, and it turned out absolutely beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous, guys. Look at that. I like how it has the little shadow on the hearts. So I told you that it's normally, oh my God, it's so beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful, guys. And then there's the bottom. So that's why I like to do the bottom, because I do like to have that coverage to come over onto the bottom. I don't like the plain bottom. Some people, they trim the bottom so that they don't have that coverage. But look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh my God. This is beautiful, guys. I'm just like so happy with it. Like, this is the first time with me using the shrink wrap, and you saw almost that was almost a disaster, but I kept going. And guys, it turned out, I mean, I couldn't have asked for better coverage. Look at that. You guys see the little bit of the shadow on the hearts? That is beautiful. I was doing it this way because I felt like you would be able to get a better look. It turned out absolutely amazing. I can take the gloves off now. Um, but again, I will put in the description, I will link where I got the shrink wraps from. I'm absolutely 100% pleased with the shrink wraps. I just have to learn how to use them better. I didn't burn it though. I did not burn it. Use them better, and I'll link where I got the stainless. I'm not stainless. The sublimation tumblers from. Um, and I use ASUB paper. This was 8.5 by 11. I designed it in Microsoft PowerPoint, and my image, I had it at 9.08 in height and 9.77 in width. And guys, this is where the seam was. And you can't even tell that that should have been a seam because it was white. So perfect. I like how the hearts meet, and then it kind of like goes up. Oh my gosh, like you see absolutely, because it's white on white, you can't even tell where the seam was, where I had that little bit of space in there. So, but again, the height is 9.08 and the width is 9.77. This is a 20-ounce skinny tumbler. Okay. The ink is by Hippoo, Hippoo, or Hippoo or Hippo. I don't know. Oh, I want to give you guys a tip. So when I first printed this paper, I printed this image out twice. The first one I did, this is what I got. See those lines in there? And I notice a lot of people get lines in their image. And they're asking, what can I do to get the lines out? So I initially had this on high quality paper, And then I just changed it to plain white. And when I changed it to plain white, it took out lines. You guys see, there's no lines in the image whatsoever. So sometimes we think that it's the ink that we're using or it's the paper that we're using. It's a matter of getting the proper settings. Okay, the proper settings. So I use the Epson Workforce 7720. And I didn't want to chance it with those lines in it. So I rather take this and just, that's just wasted. But I decided to test it to see what was causing the lines, and something told me to change the paper. And you guys can see there are no lines in that image whatsoever. This is absolutely the best tumbler that I have done. I am so pleased with myself. I mean, they always came out okay, but I felt like that shrink wrap was the missing thing for me. And so again, I will link that. The heat thermometer, I'll link that in the description, and I'll also link where I got my heat gloves, which were on Amazon, but I'll list the vendors that I got them from, and then where I got my heat tape, the vendor I got my heat tape from. So I'll put all of that. I'm so excited. I'll put all of that in the description for you. And guys, if you have any questions about the process, then feel free. Again, I sublimated this. Excuse me. I put it in my convection oven. I have the I put it in the convection oven, and I did it at 400 for 6 minutes. You guys can tell I'm excited. 400 degrees for 6 minutes. And after 3 minutes, I rotated it. And I had it going the long way because the heat is coming out from this side. So I feel like if you put it this way, you get better coverage than if you do it the long way with the heat coming that way. I don't know, but I always put mine going this way. So the door of the convection oven is here. The heat source is on this side. So I put it on this side for 3 minutes, and then I rotate it, do a complete rotate for another 3 minutes so it can hit that other side. But I'm so proud. Hey guys, I'm so excited. But anyway, Hamilton Beach convection oven is what I was trying to say when I got a brain fart. Hamilton Beach convection oven. I have the large. I bought it at Walmart for like $77. And yeah, I think those are all the supplies that I used for this. But again, I'll link everything in the description for you. All right. All right, guys. So excited. All right. If you're currently in my Facebook group, Candora's Cricut and Creative Crafters, thank you guys so much for being in my group. If you would like to join my group, just send me a Facebook group request to Candora's Cricut and Creative Crafters right there. And if you're currently subscribed to my YouTube channel, thank you guys so much for subscribing to my YouTube channel. I have now reached over 2,000 subscribers, so I am going to be doing a giveaway, and it's free to enter on my YouTube channel. It's going to be free for you to enter to win, and I'll be posting that video hopefully this weekend. I'll get it out there, and you'll have to put in your email address and your name so we can make sure that we can reach you if you win. Okay, and then you'll have 7 days to respond. If you don't respond within the 7 days, then I will pick somebody else. All right. So make sure you put your name and your address, name and email. Those two things will be required in order for you to be entered into the contest. And then I will, if you don't respond within 7 days, I'm going to pick somebody else. Okay. So I will list all the rules and everything in the video that I'm going to do. But again, guys, look at that love story. Oh, Pixabay.com is where I got all of the images, and I put them together and made a uniform picture in Microsoft PowerPoint. I'm so in love with this. I'm never going to part with this. Like, never, ever. Like, I'm never going to part with this. Like, never. I mean, never. All right, guys, I'm going to stop being silly. But if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel and you like my method of teaching, please like, share, and subscribe, and tell others about my YouTube channel, please. Please, and thank you in advance. All right, guys, you know my motto is each one reach one so that each one can teach one. And you guys have a great love story. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping for a great love story. All right, guys, have a great one. Bye.